Welcome to January of 2024, you Gemini sun, moon, and rising sign folk. Wow, it's going to be a good glow up for your career, reputation, and money stories, but at the same time, bringing a spirit of adventure and positivity to your significant main love partnerships, as well as how you reach out to any audience and clients who have given you a wave of success in that area during January 2024. Well, we have a really positive month ahead. We have a lot of good things happening. I can't wait to share that with you. But before we do, I have to say, I have a special promotion on for this month of January. It ends at the end of the month. And it is, you can get my 2024 videos. There's 12 of them. They're 75 to 90 minutes long, one for each sign. Deep dive into the year of 24 and what you need to know. That deep dive content never goes public. And if you want the bundle, which was for sale as a pre-sale, but now is at a higher price, but not the 77 full price, $77. It is now on for $59 till the end of the month of January. And if you want to get that bundle, check the description link below for how to order that and get the content delivered to your e-box. Also, if you would like to just do your a la carte sign and just get Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising, the links to buy those products are down below. It helps me fundraise every year to buy my things like my Yeti mic, new laptops, hire staff when I need them for time stamping and stuff like that. And so you help my channel grow by helping me grow my business when you buy that product and you get something for it. I just don't give it to the public for free. Gemini, 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 and kind of one of you. My sun has progressed into Gemini. My Aries sun has progressed into Gemini. So you can listen for your sun as your career. You can listen for the moon as your home and nest and body, and the ascendant can be everything about you. And if I didn't say this, I am Lori Lothian, a Hellenistic style, Western tropical zodiac astrologer. I use fixed stars, minor asteroids. I put 20 to 30 videos out a month. And if you want to use that kind of content, please subscribe. I want to help you time your best life, basically, using the navigational wisdom of astrology. So Geminis, the idea here of this month, mostly to me, is that we have this double grand trine that's really lighting up your sky and a mini grand trine in two different time frames. And we're going to really dive into that. And as we go ahead and you're listening for this, I want you to know we're covering the actual chronological order. But at the end, I'm going to talk about the broader pictures of the Venus and Mercury stories as they are also changing signs. And I'll give that a separate section at the end. So the first thing I want to mention for Gemini is that as the year begins, we all feel this new sense of positive momentum because Jupiter will have station direct on December 30th. And as January goes onward and onward, we feel more success and momentum and positivity through to the last week of May in our 12th house of foreign shores and lands and travel, income and revenue generated from those places, addiction, self-undoing, and bad habits. Jupiter can help us blast through them and cure the problem. And also maybe any way that we are literally wanting to involve ourselves in a deep spiritual quest for attainment and enlightenment. This is the ultimate spiritual liberation house, and he can be guru teacher as well. So we get to move forward here, and we might feel a sense of relief as the retrogradation of the last 4 months of 23 is finally over, and now we get to springboard into what Jupiter has in store for us. At the very same time, this month starts also on a difficult note. It's going to come into 2 days before and 2 days after January 1st. We feel this square from Venus. She's gritty, intense, combative energy towards Saturn. Now she's going through your 7th house of significant business and love relationships, plus your outreach to clients, audiences, and others. And that square can feel like you're having tension with those people in your life. Maybe a disagreement with a client, maybe some problems with a female in your life, maybe a problem in your romantic and love life with a significant long-term partner. And it's going to feel like a tension between your work and what you're doing in the top of the sky as you're succeeding to be more expert, authoritative. That's Saturn up there, right? Until 2026, giving you the old mountain goat climb to the top of the hill as you succeed in the next couple of years in pinnacling out in some career endeavors. And at this time, it looks like around New Year's Eve, there's tension, right? So maybe a day or two before, a day or two after, it looks like you're in a push-pull between others that you need to be attentive to and your career. And it can be any significant others. It doesn't just have to be love partners, especially with Venus, it could be a female. Now, also, that doesn't last long, so just breathe through it is my humble advice for you. Now, also, we can see that as we go forward in the month, we have a Mars sextiling Saturn, trining Jupiter between January 8th and January 15th. If that sounds like gobbledygook, just know that it's positive. Forms a mini grand trine in the sky, a little triangle, basically. Now, what happens is Mars is going direct. And so is Saturn, and so is Jupiter. So this is a really positive energy. And Mars flows to Saturn in your career house from your chunky money house. Now, it's interesting because that can be ways you create passive revenue, like selling a product, ad revenue, like I create on YouTube, money that comes from, backroom deals and negotiations. We'll get to that. Money that comes from commissions, money that comes from residual or royalty income, or from inheritances as well. Now, because it's a trine to Saturn in the 10th house, it can be some money coming through a father figure, and it could be looking a little bit like an inheritance potentially for some of you, the 8th to the 15th, just so you know. But also you're going to see that because Mercury is flowing to Jupiter in a lucky trine, right? A Jupiter in Taurus and an Earth trine to your 12th house, some of this revenue can come from people in far off shores, international entities, or from your own resourcefulness as you create borderless income through such things as Stripe accounts, PayPal accounts, and credit card processors. So there's that kind of money that can flow to you as well. If you want to talk to dead people or connect with the spirit world, it's funny enough, interestingly, with Jupiter, a really good time for you. The 8th, and did I say the dates there? Somewhere around the 8th or the 15th, like to get a psychic reading, to channel like a dead person, or connect with spirit guides from beyond that help you fortify your purpose and career direction. That's another way to code that, or even consult an astrologer for deep guidance and wisdom on the path you should be taking in your career. I think I will be having my yearly astrology session with one of my favorite astrologers, the astrologer's astrologer, during that window as a Gemini sun progressed. Now, also, there is a bit of a intense grand finale of Pluto Sun conjunction at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And you've been feeling that energy on the yearly since 2008 in your chunky money house. Taxes, property sale income, resources, stock investments, 401k. It's been a place of great transformation for Gemini since 2008. Now, there's a sort of an ending energy, a culmination to the top of a peak, 29 degrees, turbulent as well. For a lot of Gemini energy people on the 20th or so of December, you might have a critical moment around those kinds of monies at that point. But then the Sun and Pluto will go into Aquarius right after. Oops, but before we talk about that, I forgot something for you. I apologize. Let's go back a bit. My mistake. When we have that Mars, thing we just talked about, inheritance money, whatever, I forgot to mention that Mars is also rising here. Around the 11th of January, he's going to rise in your 8th house of chunky money in the sign of Capricorn. The last time he rose here for you guys, it was back in 1977, January. Add 2 years, because where he rises, it gives you a 2-year window of success in this kind of rising, especially exaltation in Capricorn. He's exalted. We'll be doing a deep dive video on my channel about that in early January. Make sure you have subscribed. But I am going to tell you, it's like your 401k and stock investments, savings, like longer term savings, investments, stock portfolios, resources, taxes, ability to finance and leverage money, and money you share with your business and love partners. This stuff is going to be very successful for all of you Geminis in the 2 years that follow. This rising of Mars in your 8th house, and it's going to be wonderful because as he rises, he's also flowing with that Jupiter and that Saturn, baking in a kind of story. And we'll be talking about that in the All Signs video coming out early in January. Moving forward then back to what I was mentioning to you, basically Pluto ingresses into Aquarius, and that's around the 21st of the month of December. And that's going to be the beginning of a 20-year story that you got a taste of, a little flavor of it last year, late March to mid-June last year, 2023. You got a taste of what that might be for, because Pluto in your 9th house, a Dharma house. What's your purpose here? What's your duty and destiny flowing to your identity? And it can really align you over the 20 years that follows with your truest calling in life, how you wish to power up in book publishing, the word international, the word spiritual and ideology of spiritual philosophy. These things are going to really power up over the next 20 years, starting in 2024, January 20th. There is a bit of a break when Pluto goes back to your 8th house, September, October, November, giving you a last bit of wealth and in chunky money ways, including inheritances. But I'm doing a deep dive video into this with Adam Ellenboss with Nightlight Astrology, and you probably will see that video out just after or just before this one. So make sure you check that as well, about that Pluto ingress into Aquarius. Now, what else do we have to say? Um, well, there's a bit of a gnarly sky between the 25th and the 28th of January, to say the least. It's going to be a conjunction between Mercury and Mars in Capricorn, which is your chunky money house, your taxes, your investments, all of that stuff, shared money with a partner, inheritances, squaring the nodes of fate. Nodes of fate are in Libra and Aries. The North and South node are squaring this eighth house narrative. Well, this can be some kind of difficult action or decision-making time, action-taking, decision-making time regarding matters to do with your greater career gains, your elder sibling, your children, your entrepreneurial business endeavors, your creativity. We're talking about 5th and 11th house matters. Both 5 and 11 are money houses, just so you know, and so is 8. And of course, it's right opposite your earnings. So there's kind of a critical financial story under way. Now, I like Mars's exaltation, right? In your eighth house. So he's got power here and he's being supported by Saturn and Mercury's news information. I think the tension to the nodes of fate is just because it may feel like a difficult narrative for you. You may be going, this is gritty. This is what we call the bending of the nodes of fate. It's intense energy, but it doesn't always have to be negative, especially when it comes to the word windfalls, money luck, pennies from heaven. These are possible things that you may be experiencing as this conjunction of Mercury news, Mars action, and also, dramatic changes of direction is occurring for you. And the dates of that again are the 25th to the 28th of the month of January. And just so you know, it can flow a little longer than that and a little earlier than that. So you might want to give it a week or two on either side just to be safe, because the nodes of fate being involved, it has a more of an arc, if you ask me. Now, and good news is that even with this gritty tension, it's going to be a little bit later, like the 28th, 29th, that same Mercury that joined with Mars then trines Uranus in the 12th house of money and revenue generated from foreign countries, backroom deals and negotiations. And it's about backroom deals and negotiations for your money. It's about money coming from foreign places and foreign entities, or for you or your partner. Okay, and remember, this also can be about inheritance monies, and maybe there was something hidden from your view you didn't know about, and you got a delightful surprise, and some of that money is going to show up in your life after all. Look for that possibility on the 28th onward. Also, severance packages, payouts, buyouts, sign-on bonuses, commission income, jolting up somehow around the 28th, 29th of the month in a light and surprising way. The second mini grand trine, the mini trine of the month is between the 27th and the 29th, and that's going to be a Venus story. It's the same place that the 8th to the 19th, the 8th to the 15th trine was happening. Mars set that one off. That was that Jupiter, Saturn story with Mars setting it off from your 8th house. Now it's the same story, but Venus is setting off the same dynamo energy. So what Venus does is she comes now into where? Your chunky money house. Yeah, she's there. And she's like, okay, I'm going to flow to that thing that Mars started on the 8th to the 15th. So the 27th to the 29th or so, Venus tells Saturn in your career and reputation house, hey, I've got this. We are now rolling in the dough. We've got harmonious solutions to money problems with mortgages, tenancies, mortgages. It could be tenancies and rentals as well. Mars does rule that part of your chart. But money stories with flow, ease, grace, harmony, peace treaties, agreements, negotiations going well, friendliness is there, flowing to your career space and flowing to your 12th house space. Often just a plain Venus transit through your 8th house just means you get more chunky money stories winning for you, like a stock that takes off, like a really good loan deal, like a credit card forgiveness debt, like an inheritance. So there's really good money stories actually opening up again in the later part of the month, the 27th to the 28th. Now, if you are somebody who does passive income or royalty income or ad income, this can also be a super glow up of those kinds of money if it's generated from your career. Okay. Let's talk about the bigger stories of Mercury and Venus this month. When the month starts, basically Mercury and Venus, basically, Mercury and Venus. Mercury on January 2nd, Venus is already there December 29th, are in the sign of Sag. And basically, Mercury and Venus are traveling through your seventh house of significant love relationship, business partners, clients, audience, and others. And minus that little crunchy piece of the sky that I mentioned earlier, where you could have a problem here, right? I did mention that, and that will be around, New Year's Eve. Things look really good for you. And I think that you're going to find that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that's the only problem part of it. This is good for travel with an important love relationship person, more fun communication, adventure, and enjoyment of that relationship. You're like your main partner in business or love, also having good, lucky things happen to them to do with negotiations, contracts, and deals. But also you can find that you're reaching your audience marketplace in such a way that you're very appealing and popular. It's like literally, I always call it Venus conjunct Mercury, and in a lot of ways, the Mad Men, ad men kind of thing, where they're really just like, you could sell anything to anyone. You've got a natural ability, basically, to be persuasive and charismatic, and almost a dream maker, a charmer. As you see, and Mercury's very confabulous here, but that's what we all want. We want to be sold the dream, right? The great American dream or something. So you can do that. You can sell things to people, basically. All of January, basically. I'd just say like January 2nd to January 23rd, launch a product, sell something, reach your audience and marketplace in a new way, and enjoy your main relationship and relationships. Then as we go into the other part of that story, there is the January 13th to January 13th, we'll have Mercury moving into Capricorn. That's all the deals, negotiations, conversations, ideas, and contracts you need to make to do taxes, insurance, investments, chunky money, finances, refinancing things, maybe that kind of stories. Those are really positive for you. January 13th to the end of the month until February 4th. Venus will join Mercury on January 23rd. So therefore, you even get more beneficence, say January 23rd through to February 4th for anything to do with legal contracts, agreements, not necessarily legal, but things to do with chunky money. Mercury is negotiations and deals, and Venus is money and luck. So those look very good for you. Negotiations and deals, money and luck. Could be like inheritance things, as I said, coming through. Maybe, Venus rules the house of money, luck as well, winning some money and taking possession of money you've won. Those are kinds of stories that could happen maybe. January 23rd to February the 4th. All right, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, thanks for listening. I hope this is useful. There's one thing I didn't mention. I think I'm going to stop mentioning it in any of my videos because I don't think it's really happening. But other astrologers are talking about, the 24th to the 31st, there's this ongoing sextile, and it goes into February of Jupiter and Saturn, but they never perfect. But if you want me to tell you what it is, here's what it is. Basically, you may have some success between chunky money, your career and reputation, and foreign shores and foreign lands. As a general theme, the last week of January into the middle of February. Is it true? They don't perfect, and it's almost like close, but not quite. So I'm not really using it in this delineation. So there you go. I hope that will be having a wonderful January. Check my Patreon community out. Ad-free early access content for $5 a month. And if you join in by the end of January, there's a promotion, and you can try me out and you can quit, but you get 2 courses I've taught, Synastry Relationship course and my Chiron Key to Purpose course. And then you get 1 free course with me, how to use Chiron for timing cycles, that I'll be teaching in January, but you can also just get the replay if you missed that class. And that's my gift to you for trying out my smaller, more intimate Patreon community, where we also have 1 to 3 Zoom meetings a month, depending on your tier. And I teach things there that I never teach here, or share things there that I often never share here. All right. Thanks for listening. Good luck with your 24, Gemini. Wishing you the very best.